Hello there, and welcome to Recon Paint Gaming for round 2 of our store tournament that we had. Unfortunately, Robert can't join us today, but we'll try to get him on for the final round next week. So we have an exciting match between Kenny and Tim. Tim is a relatively new player to X-Wing. I definitely appreciate him coming out to the tournament, because again, this is his first tournament, and he was, of course, standoffish, because a lot of people are normally for their first tournament, but he did great. He was able to play with the best of them. He had tons of fun. Kenny, our store champ as well, I believe, at this moment, because he is also relatively new to X-Wing. However, he has about, I think, a year or two, probably more, under his belt. He's helped me out with HOTAC. He's helped me out with prizes. He's helped me out a lot with stuff like this, so thank you, Kenny. We're going to cover the lists real quick. They're going to start moving because this is Salvage Mission. We've got the Scum, Cad Bane with Ion Bombs, IG-88, that is not a mistake, Xanadu Blood, and then the Synced Laser Cannon. We've got the Mining Guild Ties. Yes, Mining Guild Ties. He was able to borrow one of mine, thankfully, and we were able to build in the list and get it set. Let me move that down for you so you guys can actually see the ships. So he goes, "Can I borrow one of your Mining Guild Ties?" I said, "You can have one of my Mining Guild Ties because I have plenty." So he was able to take 2 Surveyors and no upgrades whatsoever because I don't think they can take any. And then he's got IG-88, the Brobots. Yes, this is why I love XWA. We've got IG-88A with the crew upgrade, delayed fuses, proton bombs, and synced laser cannons. And then IG-88B with proton bombs, synced laser cannons, fire control systems, and fearless. A really solid list. And then we have Tim with the Rebel Alliance. The points don't add up to 20, but I think at the time of the tournament they did, so I believe this is me making the list after the points change that XWA just recently put out. But we have Luke Skywalker with Instinctive Aim, Proton Torpedoes, and R2-D2. Jack Porkins with Predator, Proton Torpedoes, and R5-D8. We've got the Jake from State Farm, Pharrell with Elusive, Outmaneuver, and Ion Missiles, and Arvel, because I just love Carvel ice cream, with Predator and Afterburners. I like that. I really do. That is going to allow for some cheeky shenanigans. And away we go. We are already in the first throes of the first turn. Scum coming out strong. The greatest thing about Kenny's list is he had, like, we practiced some with those lists. I know he practiced with his friend Brando, and a lot of the times he goes, there are so many times to where I'm like, oh, I've got to avoid that rock. And he goes, God dang it. These things can fly through rocks, which is the Mining Guild Ties, because they have the ability to where if they overlap an obstacle during the movement phase, they can perform actions. They can, ignore the obstacle as long as it's a rock. If it's a gas cloud, I don't believe they can ignore it. But it's great because I used to take them as well. And I would land on one, barrel roll off of it, and someone's like, whoa, you can't. You got to roll for damage. No, this is a Mining Guild Tie. They don't care about rocks. And, of course, we've got the combination Brobots, very famous for sharing abilities due to the IG-88 ability crew, which is IG-88D, which basically they just stack. So, and I'm going to pull this up here because this, again, I haven't seen this in so long, and I love that we're seeing it now. But basically, IG-88, let me submit this here and pull it up. I believe he's the one that lets you double tap. I'm probably wrong. Let's see, import and go here. Oh, that's because that's the list. There we go. And update. Yes, so IG-88A is at the start of the engagement phase, you may choose one friendly ship with a calculate on its action bar at range 1 to 3. If you do, transfer one of your calculate tokens to it. That's a solid ability, especially since they take double calculate actions. So if one's not doing anything that turn, facing the wrong way, it can basically pass off one of those tokens to anyone with the IG-88D crew. And then this stacks with IG-88B. After you perform an attack that misses, you may perform a bonus attack using a cannon slot. So if you do a primary, you miss, you then get to shoot with the cannon. And you don't have to shoot at the same shot. You can take the same shot. It doesn't matter because this was written much long ago. And because Cad Bane has that ability as well, he gets to take all of those abilities and stack them on top, which is absolutely incredible. So it's IG-88D is you have the pilot ability of each other friendly ship with the IG-2000 upgrade. And that would be the title slot of the IG-88A and B. So Cad Bane can't pass his ability to the IGs, but they can pass it to him, which just makes it all that much better. And then because of the crew, after you perform a calculate action, you gain 1 calculate token. So basically, you've got 3 ships that are taking calculate tokens twice, and then they get to pass them around to each other in times of need if, they're going to be attacked multiple times that turn, and use them even if they want to on offense, which is even crazier because you've got these double tapping ships. And of course they've got bombs because, they're droids. So I think Cad Bane was an excellent choice with the robots because you now have this opportunity to share these abilities. All 3 of them are bombers. All of them have cannon slots. All of them, again, maneuver really well. And I'm just so happy to see it. And then Tim, he's got the classics out there. He's got Luke, Jack, Jake, and Arvel. All of the, which is it? I forget which group they're from. They're from SSP. So he has the SSP pack. And he's going to be using those cards and all of their pre-printed abilities on the cards. They're really strong. Luke has his, classic ability of being able to regenerate a force every time someone declares him as a defender, which is going to happen a lot when you're double tapping with robots. Jack Porkins, after you receive a stress, you can roll a die and remove it to remove a stress, and if it's a hit, you suffer 1 damage. Jake, of course, after he boosts or barrel rolls, he can perform a focus or pass it off at range 0 to 1. And then you've got Arvel. If you fail a boost, you treat it as a maneuver, and then while you perform an attack at range 0, treat it as range 1 instead. Which is great because you've got Predator on Arvel and Afterburners, so in those instances where you either don't want to be stressed or if you want to take a focus barrel roll and then boost, or all these other shenanigans because you want to boost with Arvel, so you execute maneuver, use the Afterburners, and then you can do a focus and then link it to a barrel roll if you want. Like, you can just go crazy with it. And it just gives them all those more actions. All right. So it looks like they are done with turn 1. So we're going to set this over to turn 2. And they are setting dials. Now, again, Tim is a brand new player. And Kenny, luckily, was paired with them. So they took their time with each other. They were very friendly. And I don't know about everyone else, but I've seen a lot of issues with, like, dials falling apart. It did happen to Tim quite a few times. So I actually gave him not a template, but one of those dial covers, because it just kept falling off. It would not stay together, which I know is infuriating because, like, you can see him, like, gently handling them like a porcelain doll, and it would just fall to pieces, and I'm just like, ugh. And then also it would change his maneuvers. So Kenny was very forgiving. You may see some of that during this match. Nobody's cheating here. Again, this is a super friendly tournament to get everyone ready for, tournaments of the future and stuff like that. So we're here to have fun. That's what we're here for. All right, waiting on Kenny's final dial. And I believe that is for one of the that might be for Cad Bane, which I completely understand. Cad Bane is out front. You've got Luke and Jack that are jousting him, and they are higher initiative than him, if I'm not mistaken. So they can easily take him out without even breaking a sweat if he's not careful. All right. So I'm trying to make chance cubes because I'm sick and tired of people rolling 3 dice and tying or trying to figure out who has initiative. So I'm actually 3D printing cubes. I'm going to try to make molds of it. Yes, I know I can buy my own, but who would like to buy them when you can just actually make your own? And, you know, one of you just rolls a chance cube. One player's blue, one player's red. Bam. You figure out who the first player is. Easy. Why FFG or AMG didn't think of that, I have no idea. Like, maybe Disney didn't allow it. That's actually a good question to ask. Anyone from AMG or FFG. Be like, hey, why didn't, you know, you guys do chance cubes? That would have been a cool thing to have in the box. And they probably would have been like, well, Disney said we couldn't. All right. Ooh, turning away with the tie mining guild. Now, and this is why I love the mining guild tie, because I think these suckers are 3 point. Oh no, they're 2 now under XWA, which thank you for that, XWA members. They are amazing in salvage because they can scoop up the salvage tokens, and then they have free roaming or free reign of the table. They can pick up the salvage and, oh, you're chasing me? I'm going to fly over this rock so you can't really pursue me. Or I'm going to barrel roll onto this rock so I get extra defense dice in this exact situation. Like, they're just perfect for this mission. And also, we're going to point out the orange cubes right here. Kenny actually won these in another tournament or league that we were running. So these are also great, easy to 3D print. You can go check those out and just, you know, have a friend print some 3D cubes so that you can see on stream who's carrying the cubes, who's carrying the salvage. Yep, so there you go. See, there you go. Now we know who's carrying it. I actually still have some green ones left as prizes. All right. Well, I'm also going to have to figure out who is who. Because I believe Arvel moved first and is up in the middle there. Yeah. See, there you go. There's Tim picking up his dial gently. If I would have known, I would have given him... I have thousands of dial covers that I would have just given him. Ooh, and there is Jack. Right sitting smack in front of that rock, picking up that crate. And there we go. So far we've got 4 ships with 2 cubes on each side. And I believe now we're going to have to figure out, yeah, where Cad Bane and the Brobots are going to go. So Cad Bane turning away. Really sitting in front of that rock. And I'm wondering if he's going to decide to barrel roll. Because you really have to think about what your next position is going to have to be. Like, yeah, sure, a 1 hard might clear that rock for Cad Bane, but then what is the 1 hard going to do for you next turn? It's not going to be able to shoot anything, most likely. You're not going to be able to turn around. You might get shot up. You could, you know, block something. And that's why now Kenny is deciding to perform the barrel roll. So, yeah, he's going to barrel roll, and he's deciding, I think, to go back as much as possible. He does also have the bullseye situation, because Cad Bane's ability is, after you perform an attack that hits, you may spend 2 to transfer 1 of your non-lock red tokens to the defender. So, it's going to be very interesting what he does. He's probably going to go, and I believe that's Arvel up there. Because Arvel is not something you really want to let reign free. He'll muck up everything, especially if you're all the same initiative. He'll just keep bumping you and keeping your list from doing what it's supposed to do. And here's Kenny deciding, because the Brobots can boost. They can move pretty quick. They only have the front arc, but it's a medium-based ship. The dials are absolutely amazing. It has 1 hard turns that I believe are white. I can actually check that in 2 seconds. Yeah. The 2 hards are white. It's got all blue banks and straights for the 3s. It doesn't have a 3 hard turn, but it really doesn't need it because of the 2 blue bank, and then it can boost. And that's basically a 3 hard, or I think that's maybe a 1 bank into a 1 bank boost is a 3 hard. And then it's got the 4 straight. It's got 3 sloops and also the 4 Choreogron. Which I personally, I like the other IG-88 that lets you swap out which is I-88G, which stinks, because then if you take I-88D, the pilot, you can't take the crew, so it kind of screws everything up, but he allows you to turn your sloops into 3 hards, and it doesn't work like a Talon roll. It actually ends up facing the actual template. It's really cool. And someone had to learn the hard way when I took IG-88D. He's like, oh, it's a Talon. I go, nope. He follows the 3 hard turn, and then he does a complete 180 there. All right, and he is taking, or spending the force. And now Kenny is going over, the differences between taking a target lock and a focus. And he's telling him take the target lock instead because, so that way he could do proton torpedoes. He's got 2 force, and he then can get some modifications and stuff like that. And again, that's why I love this store. Because Kenny is helping Tim beat him. Ooh, only 1 hit. Ugh. So, he's got only 2 hits, which is one's going to be a crit because of proton torpedoes. And that might... okay, so a crit is going through on that Mining Guild tie. Damage sensor array. That's actually really strong. It's going to force that tie to drop the crate, which is perfect. That's 1 less point for Kenny this turn. And, I mean, I would love it if Luke came in next turn and scooped that thing right up. Because Luke is so hard to hit sometimes. Like, he's one of those things where either he blanks out or he's just immortal. Because of the force ability, which, I don't know. I love taking Luke just for that reason. It's like, oop, I get a force back. Oop, I get a force back. All right. Yeah, so now Kenny's telling him that his 4s get to shoot first, so we've got Jack Porkins. Jack Porkins' position is a little rough. Maybe a 2 hard or a 2 bank might clear that rock, but it might not at the same time. But it is Jack. If he doesn't blow up, is he really Jack? Oh, okay, and I'm coming in. They want to know if it was obstructed, which 100% it was. And now I'm checking to see if the shot is obstructed on the return shot for Cad Bane. And a lot of people don't get this right because they think that the arc measures from the corners of the base, and it doesn't. It measures from the arc itself. So when you do things like this, you have to measure from the actual arc and see where the line crosses over the rock. And I'm just doing this because I know they're going to want to ask, and I also don't want them to assume. Yeah, so I determined that it does not go through the rock. And I didn't need the ship there, honestly, because I wanted to see if I went directly over the arc all the way to the left, would it even cross over the obstacle, which it didn't. So Jack, when shooting, is going to give Cad Bane a defensive die. When Cad Bane shoots back, Jack is not going to get an extra die. Yeah, and I'm telling you the Brobots got the wrong data because that A-Wing did in fact dodge the Brobots. He thought he was going to come screaming in, and he did the hard turn. And it, again, he could have boosted and maybe gotten arc, but it's not good enough for the positioning next turn. You're literally going to reposition yourself for a shot that might not be optimal. Which, kudos to Kenny for holding back, not boosting in just to get a shot. And now they're measuring for Jake here. Exactly. See, now they're going to call the judge. And again, I said this in the last video. Never hesitate to call over a judge. Let the judge be the bad guy. Look at my bald spot. All right, so unfortunately, Cad did arc dodge Jake. Yep. So now he's got to decide where Cad Bane's going to go. So Cad Bane opting to go into Jack first. So I think he wants to spend the calculate. Looks like hit, crit. And because he wants to make Jack drop that as well. Oh, little misinformation there. He thought he was attacking the A-Wing, which, I don't know. I think I would attack the A-Wing, but he's going after Jack because Jack doesn't have any focus tokens. And there we go. So he suffered double damage on Jack with the direct hit. So Tim rolled 3 dice. It looked like it was focus, blank. So Kenny just said, that's all right. You can just use that roll. I know that's not technically legal. You're supposed to actually pick up 2 dice and re-roll them. Which at least that's what I would have done if I saw that I missed. Which he's supposed to drop the crate. I think he forgot it, but I think they remind themselves later that Jack needs to drop it. Yep. Robot's going into that A-Wing, which I think is Arvel. And unfortunately, 2 shields on Arvel. And then again, see, that's the difference. I'm going to cover a dice video and, you know, dice statistics and the importance of actions and stuff, because the A-Wing picked up the crate. It means it can't focus, which then, in turn, he rolled 2 focus on his dice, but he couldn't modify them. And he's opting to spend one of the calculates, so it looks like hit. And it looks like 3 evades. Nice. And, yep, triggering IG-88D, so he gets to attack again with the synced laser cannon. And triple blanks. Here, somebody call heroic. All right, that A-Wing lucked out there, I'm going to say. And I think that's going to be the end of the turn, because, yeah, everyone's already shot. Which I'm interested in why they wrote down what they did, because this is turn 2. They wrote down 2 and 2, which is incorrect. They only have... Because Jack was supposed to drop 1. Kenny did score 2. Oops, that's Tim's. Yeah, Jack was supposed to drop 1. Because he did suffer a crit, which was direct hit. But that's okay. Maybe they didn't catch it. But then again, I can't be at the tables at all times. All right. Sorry about that. So, Tim was just asking, does the rock cause damage when you fly through it? The answer is yes. If your ship or the template overlaps a rock at any point, and that's an asteroid, not gas or the debris clouds, the asteroid will do 1 damage, and then you roll to suffer to see if you suffer another damage, which is a hit or a crit. You would suffer 1 more damage. One thing I did mention to another player this week, if you do land on top of a rock, you do suffer that damage, but then if you execute a maneuver and land on the same rock again, because either someone blocked you or your maneuver doesn't clear for some reason, you don't suffer the same effects. You don't suffer that effect until you're off the rock and then fly back onto it, either from another maneuver or another turn. Well, there's me handing out some prizes as well. Yep. If you have an X-Wing collection and you have prizes that you've gathered over the years and you no longer want them or need them or want to get rid of them, go ahead and definitely contact us. You can email us at the amazing email address, which I'm sorry, it's reconspecialisttv@gmail.com. You can send me a message or an email, and you can also message me up on Facebook and ask, hey, what's your address? I want to ship you some stuff. After clearing some stuff, I'm not just going to start handing out my address. You can ship it to me, drop it off. I can meet you somewhere and pick it up and hand out some amazing stuff to all these players. And again, I'm amassing a huge collection. And again, I am going to start painting some ships and reaching out to other groups and seeing what prize support they need, because, again, I want to keep this game going. I know the people that have donated their stuff already want to keep this game going. So I have no hesitation with someone reaching out to me and saying, hey, I have a store tournament coming up. I'd really like something, whether it's a ship, cards, some movement templates, some range rulers, whatever you've got. I'll say, okay, what store is it at? I'll call and confirm with the store and say, hey, do you have a tournament for X-Wing coming up? If they confirm, then I'll be like, okay, I'm some random person. I want to ship you those prizes to give them away at the tournament, or I'll work with the person who contacted me and send them whatever prize support they need and keep this rig rolling, because honestly, I absolutely love this game. I love doing videos like this for you guys. And we're going to see where we can go, especially after Worlds, which is coming up shortly in the 2025. And also, we just had PAX, so. All right, so not dropping any bombs with the bros or with CAD. Oh, wait, maybe he's doing it with CAD, which I would assume he is. He's saying that is an actual ion bomb. I've noticed that with new players, a lot of them don't have the bomb templates for the appropriate bomb, or they just can't find them, which I have that same problem. Yeah, so I think I hear him at that moment. I go, wait 1 moment, I'll get you a proton. And I hand him one for the game. There he goes. Oh, he has one of my... I wonder if that's my card. I've lost my salvage card, and I think that's it. It tells you how the scenario works. That's all right. Tim can keep it. Here we are, running away like the coward that it is. All right. Ooh, that is very close to the bomb. I think that's just out of range, but Kenny would know better with the better angle. If he really thinks he's going to be hit, it would be best for him to barrel roll. Ooh, and he is not taking an action with that tie. Oh, no, he flipped damage sensor array, so that it can come back and do some more actions. Yep. So they're marking first player, because that's also because they have so many overlaps. We've got Jake, Jack, the Brobots and CAD all at I4, you really want to know who first player is. So there is CAD. I mean, didn't have a lot of options to go. He could have, like, blasted past it, but then what's that going to do for you? He's, I believe, just trying to block Jack onto a rock. And here come the Brobots. I must say, they are quite terrifying when they reach you at range 1. They are 3 attack dice, 4 at range 1. I believe that's going to be, where is it? B, because of the Fearless. So range 1, it just gets to flip a blank to a hit if you're both facing each other or have each other in arc. And I think he is deciding. I'm not sure what he's deciding. I think, oh, did he want to delay that bomb? I think he has a fuse in his hand. Oh, no, target lock. Okay, good. Because I know one of them has delayed fuses. It'd be a little too late to apply the delayed fuses, but it would still, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. All right, and here comes the other Brobot right behind him. Smart by keeping that one in the back, because that's the one with the crate. You really want to start banking these points here. And there's the double core, or double calculate. And the reason he does this is because that calculate can easily be passed off to the other Brobot. And then you've got a target lock with a single calculate mod, which I used to fly the 4 T-70s with Temin, the one that can open its S-foils and give all of the other T-70s calculates, including himself. All right, marking the Cad Bane. And I'm sorry, I had to pause and come back real quick. But I believe we were talking about the Brobots and all that jazz. But it does look like Porkins is going to end up on the rock twice. Now, you will suffer both of those obstacles, unfortunately, because you flow over one, you suffer damage, and you're about to land on another one, you suffer another one, and then you'd have to roll 2 dice to see if you suffer damage from each of those. And then he's, of course, going to drop the crate, which he should have done last turn, but that's okay. Yeah, he's putting the crate, which I don't think Cad Bane has a crate yet. One of the Brobots does. But that's actually crazy about the timing because of the I4s. If all of a sudden you had to where Jack moved first, he could have dropped it and then grabbed up the crate. So there we go. Unfortunately, Jack does what Jack does best and buys the farm. Yep, and now putting the ships back. This is, like, I'm going to give a hint here, or not a hint, just a fun way to make sure that you put your ships back. Don't put your ships that you've marked somewhere on the table that makes it look like that's where they currently flew. Put them off the table. Put them on their card. Put them somewhere to where you're going to realize, oh, I have to put these back. Because there are so many times to where somebody marks their ship, picks it up, puts it off to the side so like it looks like it's flying off in nowhere's land, and then they figure everything out, and then someone just grabs up the template because why is there just random template on? And you're like, oh, that's where it was. So please make sure, which luckily Kenny said, okay, now we got to put all our ships back, and you put them all back. Because I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I've done it, and I've had it done to me. I've seen it done to the table next to me. It's just, it's this thing that stinks. Because I've had it to where it's cost me a game, to where a ship was definitely going to fit, and all of a sudden, because an opponent picked it up and goes, oh, well, I get to put it back where I think it was, and I put it back in a wrong position, and bada bing, bada boom. Now my ship that wasn't going to bump bumps, and it doesn't get to do what it was meant to. Yep. And of course, I bumped the ship because I'm trying to reach over the table. But this is another quick little tip. When people say, oh, I don't think that's going to fit, mark the ship. Mark the ship, put down the template, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to fit. Because when you put a template down and it is laying flat from where the ship's front arc was, or the little nubs, and then you lay it over a ship to where it's not flush with the table, you're losing millimeters there. And then all of a sudden it doesn't fit. If you mark the ship and the template lays flat on the table, all of a sudden it does fit. So when someone like a 1 hard is going to say, oh, that's not going to fit, mark your ships. And I guarantee you it will most likely fit, because the 1 hard is meant to make a large base ship go 90 degrees from its corner. So if a ship is going right and it's doing a 1 hard, it will literally rotate 90 degrees. So a smaller base ship is going to have a little more clearance. So it's not going to be 90 degrees from the small ship. It's actually going to move you a little bit further left. So always mark your ships. Give yourself as every millimeter that it possibly can. Yeah, and now they're judging what Luke is doing. I really wish the A-Wing would have boosted there. And I've told this to Tim before, like the A-Wing is really meant to do an action and then boost or barrel roll. And yes, it does get you stressed, but the A-Wings need to be a little bit more nimble. And I really wish he would have boosted, because then Luke wouldn't have bumped and given him a little bit more space. He would have still smacked into Cad Bane, but it's Luke. He still gets, his force actions. Yeah, and then more marking of the ships. Yep, so that's where he's going to end up. Even though he does overlap both Cad and Jake, he still has to roll to see if he suffers any damage. I don't know if they do here. He should. And he doesn't get any actions. But it does look like that they're both going to be ionized, because that bomb is sitting right there. And I'm pretty sure that Jake and Luke are range 1 of it. Oh, okay. Now Kenny's reminding him, rolls for damage. No consequences. And yep, measure, got them both. For the A-Wing, it's a little tougher because you're really meant to be going fast, but he's not going to be in any sort of danger except for maybe another ion bomb next turn. And Luke, again, he's going to want to slow roll next turn, so it's not that bad. That's why you really don't see a lot of ion bombs on the table, but for 3 points, they're great for slowing stuff down that really is meant to go fast, and also deterring certain ships. Like, you really don't want an ace to be ionized. And by that, I mean, like, Sunterfell, Vader, Fen Rao. You really don't want them ionized. All right, so it should be start of combat. Luke should be firing away, but I'm sure Tim is deciding what his target should be. Either a Brobot or Cad Bane. There's Tim pressing down his dials again. Oh, I wish he would have said something. Yeah, see that right there? He pushed his thumb down and it popped right out onto his thumb. Yeah, so here's the IG-88 shenanigans. So, the ships that have IG-88D get to pass 1 calculate to another ship, which all 3 of them can, rotate through, or 2 of them can pass to 1. Like, you can do all this all day if you'd like. But it just makes it to where, oh, you're not going to be able to shoot this turn? All right, you're going to pass a token here. Oh, you're going to be shooting. Okay, I'm going to take the token over here. It's just great action economy, which is why I love the Brobots. All right, shooting into Cad Bane. Ooh, that looks beautiful. Nothing but natties. It looks like blank. And 2 shields and a crit into CAD. Ouch. And waiting for the result. You can't shuffle after you've already dealt a damage, Kenny. How dare you? I think he forgot, though, that he already... Ooh. Hole breached. So anytime he suffers the damage, it's face up. Which, that card always gets you because you're like, oh, I'm suffering 3 damage. Oh, no, that's 3 crits. Actually, it could be more than 3 damage because I could get direct hits and fuel leaks. It's just, it's one of those cards to where you desperately want to flip it over immediately, or you forget, and then you just absolutely regret it. There you go. Or it's the second to last damage card that you suffer, which means nothing. All right, so it looks like that's Jake holding the crate. And it looks like, ooh, 3 hits out of the A-Wing. I love it. So spending a calculate. Looks like 2 evades, 1 damage. And that is on to IG-88A. All right, so A is the one that's in the back there with the crate. And now he's checking to see if he's got that A-Wing here. And arc dodging again. I gotta say, Tim has been arc dodging the robots very well. He may even have it to where B doesn't have Arvel there. I'm not sure. But as of right now, these robots have not been doing much this game. Ooh, look at me with my fancy laser. Actually, I don't think you guys can hear the table, but I can. I just said he is arc dodging the SHIT out of you. And this is a tough call, because Kenny now is going to have to probably go into Luke if he's got him. Okay, actually, IG-88 is the only one with attack. I guess he doesn't even have Luke in arc either. Yeah, which just makes it all the more painful that Tim lost Porkins so early. If Porkins may have just set up differently in his positioning to where that rock wasn't an issue, he didn't have to dodge it. Like, Jet could have done like a 4 straight and gone after those tie guilds and just had a field day with them. All right, so blanks out. He's going to trigger IG-88D. And he's going to go with the synced laser cannon. And he blanks out again! Target locks are free, everybody. Man. So, as of right now, he's taken a huge chunk out of CAD. We've got Porkins, unfortunately, is no... Oh, I got to mark Porkins is gone. Porkins is no longer with us. And that's it. That's the end of the round. The TIE Mining Guild is off, just scoring points for him. We've got the A-Wing that's also scoring points for him. And it looks like Kenny's going to get 2 more. And Tim is going to get 1 more, so it is 2-9. Unfortunately, Tim hasn't scored any ship points yet, but still has that A-Wing with at least 1 crate. And again, the Mining Guild tie. He's going to have to... The Mining Guild tie that already took damage, he's going to have to get it back around and do something with it. He can just fly off and keep it alive, but it's really not going to do much for him. He can maybe score this one that's up here. He can do a 2 hard or 3 hard and then 2 hard and come in and grab it. And this Mining Guild tie, I mean, honestly, with the game as it is, 9-2... coming this way onto the rock, or do a 2 hard to avoid it. That would be a great way to keep the points going for that guy. And the robots are gonna have to figure out something. Like, they can do the sloop this way, or maybe they can do the 4K this way and try to get something in arc. But if they don't, square them out or square themselves out, they're not gonna have another round of firing. And it's just gonna be points on the board that they don't get to utilize. There we go. And Kenny is thinking hard. Because that's the thing. Kenny does have the lead. He has to protect it now. The question is what can he do to where Cad Bane, I'm going to say Cad Bane needs to either do the K-turn this way or come around this rock here. He can turn in, but then you're probably just going to suffer Luke again. And this A-Wing is going to have to either do a one bank or one straight. I'd opt for the one bank and come in here and try to get around this rock. And, I believe this is Arvel. Arvel can turn in this way with the one heart again, stay behind those Brobots, but you are in danger of proton bombs, which they may drop here. I wouldn't be surprised if IG-88A dropped the bomb here because this TIE is going this way. All right. You can definitely tell Tim is feeling the pressure, which, again, thank you so much, Tim, for participating and letting me record. I always ask for permission because there are players that don't like to be recorded, which I can't disagree with. It can throw players off. I know there are, I'll say professional. There are well-known players that do not like being recorded, either because they don't like people criticizing the way that they fly, or they just don't like the pressure of being on stream, which I get it. It is so easy for me to sit here, 30 miles away from where this was recorded and, give my criticisms on what players should have done or should do or didn't do or forgot to do, because there's no pressure on me to get it right or wrong except for the comment section. So, for those of you who are wanting to comment and leave notes below, be kind, be courteous, or, sympathize and understand and leave something below and say, oh, I've done that thousands of times. I can completely understand why that player did what he did. I've forgotten to do that. Because, again, I've forgotten to do stuff all the time. I'm trying to think of what... the Tri-Fighters. There's a Tri-Fighter that can take a target lock in its bullseye at the start of the engagement phase. And I can tell you there are dozens of times, because it does happen several times a game, to where I forget. Yeah, it's the... is this the one? Nope. And... Gain a calculate, or not gain a lock, gain a calculate. Yeah, the Flak RFOC prototype from the SOC kit. That one, you get a free calculate if a ship is in your bullseye, kind of like Sunterfell at the start of the engagement. And there are times to where I'm about to roll dice, and I'm like, why doesn't he have Ma? Why wouldn't I take a calculate there? It's like, oh, he has a lock, but why doesn't he have oh, I forgot to take a calculate. And I'll say it out loud. My friends or opponent will be like, oh, take it. I'm like, no, I forgot it. I want to train myself to remember. So I'm going to suffer my consequences and hope I'll learn from it. All right, we are ready to start. We are on turn 4. And it looks like Tim is going to be player 1 this round, so it's going to be the A-Wings moving before the Brobots and Cad. Yeah, so he is dropping bombs. He is sick and tired of this A-Wing arc dodging him. He is going to try and make it to where it's impossible. And, I think he has protons. Yes, he has protons. He does not have the, yeah, he just said it. That's a proton. He doesn't have concussions, which... if I was the A-Wing, I would prefer protons over concussions because they go right under those shields. There, see? That's me coming in, being the judge. Giving him the proton tokens. And I think I have a whole box of asteroids, debris clouds, gas clouds, and all sorts of bomb tokens that I bring to these tournaments, because I know, with things running out of stock, it's all the more important to make sure your players have what they want and need. And I say both because there are players that go, oh, I wish I could take this list, but I don't have this ship or this upgrade or this template, and I'm more than happy to say, here you go, you can take it. And the same thing when someone needs it and says, shoot, I just showed up to this tournament and I don't have X, and I'll go, here you go, take it. Because I'd rather them play and have fun and have everything they need. Yep, so ionized one Mr. Luke. And also that A-Wing there. And I just told them that they could put just one ion. You're supposed to put 3. And that's just because of the size and ships. And also there are abilities that say, you know, for each red token, or you may do X with a red token. But I told him you can just put 1 because then we know it's ionized. There's nothing on the table that's going to affect anything this round when executing the maneuvers. All right, so there we go. There is Kenny going around the rock for both TIE mining guilds, doing what I thought, going after the objective at the top if it comes to that, and then also that other one flying into that rock to protect himself, because again, that's 1 free point a turn now for that TIE mining guild. He said, I don't want Jake to kill me. And he's going to stay there, yep. I don't think Jake's going to kill him because, again... Alright, so I think he's going to move... Yep. Yep. Yeah, he wants to do the boost, which, unfortunately, that's the way that ionization works. While you're ionized and you execute your maneuver, you may perform only focus actions. Yeah, and I explained that it has to because it says boost action. If you had something that says if you do X, you may boost, that's different. That's not an action, or you may acquire a lock or gain a calculate or gain a focus. Those are not actions, so you can do those while ionized, but you can't perform actions other than focus when you are ionized, which you execute the maneuver, and then you can only perform focus. You can't pick up crates either. Ooh, doing the 3 hard with the A-Wing. Seeming to go after that Mining Guild tie. Oh, well, you can't boost. That's the other problem. Because he has the crate, he can't boost, he can't barrel roll. He could have opted at the end of last turn to drop the crate, which is always an option. I've never seen really anyone do it. I know people have, because it frees them up to do something next turn, but it does, unfortunately, remove the point from your ship. But it also could be utilized to give you more points in the long run because of the fact that you can shoot one off of another player or possibly destroy a ship by the ability to reposition. So I didn't see him take a focus or an evade or anything on that A-Wing. I don't know if it'll matter because he already knows that that bomb's going to hit him. And I don't believe it'll kill him because he has full shields, but... Yep, there's the sloop from the Brobot. And, of course, Cad Bane did drop another ion, which is going to hit the, the one Brobot. I guess he doesn't care. Because, I mean, the Brobot's going to be doing probably a 1 straight next turn anyways. And here comes Mr. Skywalker. Did the 1 straight and is now dead to rights in front of 2 Brobots. Luckily, they don't have any economy right now. Because I don't know if Cad Bane took the double calculates. Because he can pass at least 1 to another one. Oh, he got hit by both. Oh, I thought he was just hit by 1. Yeah, So unfortunately, that is a toast. Arvel. And yep, perfect. He's going to mark it to where he can then put down his... Oh. And again, that's just an important rule that you should know. If you know that these things have bombs, you can't reposition, you're going to say, all right, you know what? I'm going to opt to drop my crate. That way I can reposition next turn. And again, that can keep your ship alive instead of losing the 4 points that he just gave to Kenny there. So it's, do I want to hang on to this 1 point? Well, you might not have any at the end of the round. All right, so he is ionizing himself. Luke is in serious trouble now because they basically know what maneuvers he's going to be doing next turn. And there's another hint. A range ruler is a good back scratcher, FYI. Apparently that's me dropping knowledge while recording. Oh, that is, yep, that is Jake, 100%. Oh, Jake is just out. So Brobot into... I don't know why he rolled only 3 dice. Unless he's shooting from... Yes, now he's figuring it out. Okay, it was a blank. Look at that. Board stayed saved. Now he's going to do the sync laser cannon. All right, 1 crit into Luke. Luke being Luke, obviously dodges it. And I tell him, regain that force, dang it. Ooh, there it is. And that's going to be 2 hits. And going to be spending the focus for double evades. Again, like I said, Luke is just sometimes invincible. So that is it there. Back to dials. It looks like they have 3 crates on the scum side and none on the rebel side. So it is 16-2, which is what they have 16-3, but it is 2 because Jack did suffer a crit during turn 2, which should have made him drop the crate. And this is going to be trouble because you have 3 ships for the scum that have crates. And chances are that Mining Guild Ty is going to do the 3 hard in the top left over here and grab this other crate, which is going to give him 4, which is just enough to win. Luke is ionized. He can try to 1 bank. Where is it? This way. But he's not, like, this robot has to do a 1 bank as well, or a 1 straight, and it may bump into Luke. And then this one is going to also probably maybe do a 2 hard. But this one's not carrying a crate, so unfortunately it's not going to do anything for Luke to shoot it. Cad is in a position as well. You've got Jake up here. Jake is ionized. He can 1 bank this way and try to go after that Mining Guild Ty. But again, you need a crate in order to knock off, or you need a crit to knock off that crate. But even then, almost guaranteed this turn, Kenny's going to be scoring 3 points, and Tim is just fighting uphill. Which, if you're keeping count, Kenny has scored 7 points just off of objectives. He's only killed Jack and Arvel, which I think in this point is a total of 10 points. But this thing is showing 5, but... Or it might be that Tim only took 19 points. The system is showing that it's a 20-point list, but in Yasby it's showing 19. So I think it's just a system glitch to where Tim did take a 19-point list, or the points were different when he built the list. Or at least I hope he used the X-Wing Alliance list or points, because if he did standard, now even in standard they're the same points, so I'm not sure how that glitch worked, but yeah, he's only lost 9 points per se. All right, so Kenny is first. He's going to be moving his entire list before Tim. Yep, moving the mining guild ties. Yeah, the bottom tie is probably the 3 hard. Okay, he's playing extra safe, even though there was no way for a ship to reach him this turn, doing the 3 hard. He could have turned in this way and been completely safe. Yeah, there's the 3 hard from the guild up here. He's going to pick up that crate, which is now the 4th point that he can gather. And that's what gets very dangerous in this mission, because it is honestly to where if you don't pay close attention, someone can win without even firing a shot. It's absolutely crazy how quickly those points can add up, because it's, oh, you have 3 crates. Oh, that's 3 points. That's not too bad. And then the next turn goes by and it's like, huh, you still have those 3 crates. That's 6 points. That is more than a quarter of the points required to win this game. And woo. And you're going to get 3 next turn too, huh? Oh, geez. And then it's 9. Which Kenny is definitely adept in the salvage mission. And here we go. Brobot doing the 1 straight because it is ionized. He could have done the 1 bank, but there was really... He wants to block Luke. Keep Luke right where he is. Not that he's trying to punish Luke in the sense of, you know, trying to get him in a corner and hit him. He's just trying to keep Luke from shooting at something and knocking off a crate, which Luke is probably just doing a 1 straight. He can try to shoot range 0 and get maybe a crit. Luckily, he can't mod his dice or anything like that. And that's basically all you can hope for, is just luck at that point. And keep the game going for maybe 1 more round. This is actually a great question, and I looked this up. He asked, can a Brobot take calculates if they are ionized? And for a half a second I said, oh wait, they're mechanical. Why would a mechanical being be able to take a calculate if you're ionized? So if you're ionized, you are only allowed focus, and that is it. So that is excellent to recall, and it makes perfect sense. Ooh, it looks like he does fit. My goodness. Oh, and I think Tim put the crate back onto the wrong onto the wrong BB-8, which is okay. Again, I don't think it matters. Yep. Flips it over. Yeah, so if you are ionized and you need to execute a maneuver, you can do a 1 straight or a 1 bank. You just have to show that on your dial by either doing a straight maneuver to show that you're going 1 straight, or use a turn or bank in left or right to show that you're going in that direction as well. Yep, so unfortunately the A-Wing was ionized, so it only gets to do a focus action. And he's going to slide right in with that X-Wing. He can opt to take the focus stress. I mean, if you think this is going to go another round, I don't think you would, because you're going to want all your options open for next turn. He's going to opt to take it, which 100% is okay. Yep, so here comes the 4 dice. I think he's going in. Yep, he's going to send it over to... Yep, and then he's going to transition the other calculate. Oh, nope, he's going to keep all 3. Yeah, he's the one with the box. Which, I'm shocked that he's not going to transfer the calculate. Yeah, at least 1. There you go. Because you want him to have at least 1 calculate for mods for defense. Yep, so Cad's going to send it over to here as well, which is the smart thing to do. All right, shooting at B, which doesn't have the crate. I tell him to use the force. Yep. Yeah, so I'm telling him to he didn't know he could spend more force in a single turn, so I told him, yeah, spend the force. You can spend as many forces as you'd like to modify each a die for each result. So 2 evades, he takes 2 damage. And that's going to be 2 shields on I-88B, if I'm not mistaken. And here we go. This is when Fearless triggers. This is when you should be afraid. Luke's going to be fine, though. Yep. Fearless changes 1. He's spend 1 calculate. It looks like 2 focus, 2 hits. Yeah, spends the focus. He gains a force back. You see how this works? And Luke takes no damage. Oh, okay. Those were 2 crits. All right, so 2 shields on Mr. Luke. Still, pretty crazy that he's finally taken damage after all of this. And then it's going to go into Jake up there. 2 dice. Jake does have outmaneuver, which won't work. Elusive, which is only for defense. Yeah, might as well spend it at this point. And just looks like 2 hits. 2 evades. No damage. Yep, and if he would have got those 2 damage, that would have definitely kept him going for at least another turn. Jake, I don't think has taken any damage this game at all. Nothing. And that is going to be a victory for one Mr. Kenny at exactly 20-2. I mean, honestly, excellent on both players. Kenny strategically played that well with the 2 mining guild ties, picking up those crates. Tim was able to knock one of the crates off first turn, which was perfect. I just think he got unlucky with Porkins just lining him up just off kilter of that rock and then doing the 3 bank onto 2 rocks at the same time. Yeah, and even Kenny's saying he did an amazing job arc dodging with those A-wings. It was only, again, it was only the 2 bombs because that A-wing had the crate. It couldn't reposition. And again, that's practice. That's all it would take. Tim just needs to get a couple more reps under his belt. I hope this does not deter him from either coming out to another tournament or playing the game again, because you got to take away something from each game in the positive. You can't just think, oh, well, I lost all my games, or, you know, I only won 1 game, I'm terrible. It's not how you should look at these games. You should look at, wow, you know what? Looking back, it was, the real score was only 9-2 or 9-0 if you're going to go that route. He only got 9 points of my ships. It was the crates that really did it for me, and you just have to retrace your steps and figure out where I could have changed my approach and made it to where I would have made it a closer game by not allowing him to gather so many crates, and then also you know, keeping my ships in the game and eliminating something before they possibly hit a rock or something like that. So again, I watched both of these players. They played great during this tournament. We're going to end it here. We're then going to record the 3rd round. Hopefully Robert will be here next week to record it. But thank you guys for watching. We're going to watch Kenny, I believe, take on, oh my goodness, who is he playing in the 3rd round? It wasn't Matt. Who was he playing? You would think I would remember what the 3rd round was. I think it was Dennis. We're gonna see him play our Armada store organizer. One Mr. Dennis. Great game. It's gonna be Imperial versus Scum. An overall amazing match. As well were others on the other tables as well on how close they were. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys really enjoyed the last video. I hope you guys really enjoy this one. You know, please make sure to like and subscribe. We are going to be doing more videos. I'm currently doing, you know, some dice tracking and all that. I'm going to do a video on your dice, your statistics, dice variance, how you can improve your dice when it comes to action economy and stuff like that, because a lot of people need to learn how to make sure they're maximizing what they have, and also what to expect from your dice when it comes to action economy and such like that. So again, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the content that we have on the channel, and have a good one.